Now, I recently went to Manhattan Times Square at the Crowne Plaza Hotel for the Manhattan Open Chess Tournament, and I was appalled at what I discovered. 75% of the competitors, maybe upwards to around 80-85% of the competitors in my section, the under 1400 section and the under 1100 section and the unrated section, were little kids. And why that is disturbing is this is a professional tournament for money. So in a sense, it's gambling. So this video is to make people aware of the child gambling ring that I discovered in this chess tournament. The best analogy that I can describe would be, can you imagine children playing Texas Hold'em, winner takes all against adults? That would clearly be gambling. But yet kids can play cards for fun. It's only when you put money and you involve money that it becomes gambling. Okay? It's no difference if you're playing poker or if you're playing chess. If you're playing for money, you're gambling. It doesn't matter if each individual game, we're wagering on each individual game, or if it's 5 of us, let's say, and we all put up $200 and we all play each other until winner takes all and wins the whole 1,000. That's a pyramid type scheme for gambling, and that's what essentially we have at these chess tournaments. I think it's horrible. I think it's a disgrace, and one of the most dangerous parts about it is I personally own a children's daycare center in Philadelphia. Everybody who works for me that interacts with children has to have child abuse history clearances, state police clearances, as well as federal clearances to be able to work with the children. We don't have that at this chess tournament. What we have is potentially pedophiles playing with little kids. So this needs to be looked into, but if the government is not going to step in and do anything about it, I've made the authorities aware. I've talked to the district attorneys in New York City. They're traveling to Cleveland, Ohio with the chess tournament. I've talked to the district attorney in Cayuga County in Cleveland, Ohio. I've even called Fresno, California, because they're also going to be competing there. If the authorities are not going to hold these people accountable, then we as the people need to. Now here is a video clip.
I had to take a video of this because that little girl over there, that's who I'm supposed to be playing on my first round, a child who's like 5 or 6 years old. This is who I'm supposed to be playing against.
Excuse me?
If I win,
Where's the water?
then I'm an asshole who beats a little kid. If I lose, I got my ass kicked by a fucking little kid, so it's a crazy dilemma.
When I first saw it, I thought, hey, this is funny. I thought it was one little kid. Then I realized it was a bunch of little kids. And it's a lose-lose situation. I mean, you can hurt people's feelings, and it's worse than hurting them physically, because sticks and stones give you scars, the wounds heal, but sometimes psychological wounds, you could keep that with you and be traumatized for the rest of your life. So I have to sleep at night. I have to look at myself in the mirror. Yeah, I could go there and beat everybody and win this tournament, but in doing so, I don't know what's going to happen to these children. They're being pressured by their parents to compete in these competitions. They take the fun out of it when they make it for money. They don't even get the money. The money would obviously go to the parents, I'm sure, so they're being exploited. But here's the point. If you want to play for a championship, if you want to play for a trophy, if you want to play for a title of, hey, the county's best, that's great and that's fun. But when you start playing for money, you take the fun out of it. It's not amateur anymore. You're playing professional. It becomes a job. Okay? So if you don't feel like playing today, too bad. It's your job. You got to get there. You got to go. You got to play. We put money on you in this competition. It's not good for kids. All the lessons and all the great things that chess could be for children, I'm all for that. But the evil and the greed of gambling, that's why we have laws that prohibit kids from gambling. You can't even gamble when you're 18. You got to be 21. Gambling's addictive. And gambling in some religions is considered evil. There may be some truth to that. So I'm interested in what the people want to think. I hope there's some response to this video. I want to raise awareness. I really do. If the cops aren't going to do anything, if the district attorneys aren't going to do anything, we as a people, we need to stand up and let our voices be heard. We need to do some things. You know, just like these sickos that are dressing up these little girls and putting them in beauty pageants. If they want to do that for fun, fine. But you're doing it for money, and that's what makes it evil, and that's what makes it sick. You're basically pimping out your children to get money for you, and you should be ashamed of yourself. I seen a little kid over there at that chess tournament crying for 30 minutes straight, hysterical crying. He couldn't have been more than 4. Me myself personally, I withdrew from the tournament when I found out it was like that. I could not do that to a 4-year-old. You don't know what's happening to him. I've heard that parents are scolding their children when they lose. I haven't witnessed it, but I've heard that parents are beating their kids if they lose. I seen one kid, you know, he made a bad move, you know, he put his queen in take or something like that. He smacks himself in the face. I'm thinking, why? Don't beat up yourself, young man. Everybody makes a mistake. You learn. Is it because he's gonna get beat if he loses? I don't know what's going on. Most of the kids there, I don't like to stereotype, but I'm not a politician, so I don't care about being politically correct. They're mostly Asian kids. And we know here in America that a lot of these rich businessmen are flying over to Asia to have sex with little kids. Okay? Could it be potentially that, hey, the sex trade, instead of you having to fly to Asia, now we're bringing Asia to you. You just come to these hotels for 2 or 3 nights at these chess tournaments, and we got all the little Asian boys and girls already here for you. I don't even know if these people are the kids' parents that are with those kids. They're being accompanied by an adult, and we don't even know who that adult is. We don't know if that adult is a pedophile, a human trafficker, or anything. There needs to be some oversight. And peers should play in amateur league, and the older people should be able to play professional. There shouldn't be intermixing. And everybody that I spoke to basically agrees with that, other than the people that are directing the competition, and they're a bunch of sickos. I mean, I've heard conversations they're having where it sounds like they're trading child pornography, talking about child wives that they can buy in India and bring to Saudi Arabia. What happens if you bring your child wife to America, even though you're already married over there to a 14-year-old? Okay, what happens to your wife if you bring him here? What kind of conversations is this to be having by people who are running a tournament that involves kids? Me as a parent, I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm blowing the whistle. I want the people to know about it, and I thank everybody for their support. And we need to fight against this exploitation of children. I mean, there's a lot of things out here that are going on, that are going wrong, and maybe we can't agree on everything. I believe standing your ground. Somebody attacks me with a knife, I think, hey, shoot him, kill him. But if somebody's just kicking my ass, beating me up, then I need to be able to take the ass whooping. Here's the district attorney from Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland, Ohio. Hello? Yes, Emmanuel Messiah speaking. Can I help you?
Yeah, this is Prosecutor Carl Baldwin. You left me a voicemail about some sort of children's tournament or something going on in Cleveland?
Yeah, it's going to be there in about 4 days. And I just came home from Manhattan, where they had the Manhattan Open in New York. And they're also going to be going to Fresno, California. So I just wanted to make you guys aware that what was going on, because
Are they close to that? I mean, is it like...
well, they're based.
Or is it at like a convention center?
Okay, let me see if I can get you the exact location. In New York, it was in the middle of Times Square at a really nice hotel, the Grand Plaza Hotel. But where exactly they're going to be holding it in Cleveland, I can pull that up for you right now if you just bear with me for a minute. It's at CCA, and I don't know what CCA stands for. I think that's Continental Chess or something like that. CCA Chess, maybe .com. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. And I think that link sends you to some kind of. But the people who run it and who are organizing it, I believe they're all based in New York because the number is a New York area code. And I spoke with the district attorney in New York because the police, he didn't really seem like the cop that I spoke to, the detective that I originally spoke to, he didn't really seem like he was very interested. And if they are in fact breaking any of the statutes, it certainly looks suspicious to me. Okay, so here we go, the Cleveland. And I'm going to click on Cleveland and it should tell me exactly where. Okay, this is going to be held, the 11th annual Cleveland Open will be held from August 10th through 12th at the Crown Plaza in Cleveland Airport, 7230 Engle Road in Middleburg Heights, Ohio. So maybe that's outside of Cleveland, I don't know.
No, that's right. It's a number.
Yeah.
Kids are playing chess. I don't understand what the illegal aspect of it, though. I guess
Yeah, right.
parents are okay with it.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
Like a spelling bee or something like that.
That's what somebody else mentioned too, a spelling bee. I don't really know much about spelling bees. I know that if the kids were playing Texas Hold'em poker, hey, that's fine. You know, you're playing for fun. But if you're playing for money, if me, you, and 3 of our buddies all put up $200 and we say, okay, only the winner takes all and walks away with $1,000, are we not still gambling? I mean, it's like a pyramid type structure of how we're gambling, but we're still wagering money on the outcome of a game of skill or game of chance, however you want to look at it. I guess to me, it's gambling, but even the more sinister part about it isn't so much that the children are also gambling, but they're competing against adults. So you're not even playing amateur, you're playing for money, you're playing professionally, and you're playing against adults. But usually when adults interact with children, like I own a children's daycare out here in Philadelphia, everybody who works for me has to have child abuse history clearances, has to have state police clearances, as well as federal criminal background checks clearances to make sure they're not pedophiles, rapists, murder, violent offenders, stuff like that. And right now there's absolutely no regulation at all. And so, I mean, I've heard some conversations over there that really were weird. I mean, seriously weird. And pedophiles probably target places like that where they can get close to kids and not have to have too many people suspicious of them. And I mean, I could just be, I'm a parent myself, so I could just be like maybe being a little bit overprotective, but because they could just be chess nerds. But people seem like they're a little bit weird over there, and it's mostly all Asian children. And look, I don't have a problem with kids playing chess. I think it's great if kids play chess. If you're playing for a championship and you're playing for, even if it's for a scholarship to school or something like that, but we're talking about cash prizes, and that cash doesn't even go to the kid, I'm sure. It probably goes to whoever their guardian is. So they're being pressured. They take the fun out of it. There was kids hysterical, crying. If they were playing for fun, I don't think they'd be crying when they lose. I mean, I've seen kids like smacking themselves when they make up. Who knows what's. I've heard stories by the director because I told him, I addressed my grievances with him. I thought this was completely unethical that they were doing that, and I talked to him about it. And he says, yeah, you got to have a tough skin and all this if you're playing these kids because they're saying you play the kids and beat them and all that sort of stuff. And he says some of the parents scold the children when they lose. Some of them even beat he's heard of stories where they've gotten children get beat if they lose a game of chess. To me, that's child abuse. And I mean, I believe in disciplining your kid. I'm old school, if you get discipline your child, spare the rod, spoil the child. If my kid does something bad and he deserves to get beat, okay, he's stealing or he's disrespectful to adults or something like that. I'm not going to beat my child if he loses in a game, basketball or football or whatever activity he decides to. So I don't know. I don't like it. And I don't know if it's against the law or not, but I just want to do my due diligence and call the people, the right people. You prosecute criminals. What do you think about this type of
I
situation?
have to get in touch with an investigator about it. I know somebody that I can call, but I mean, I don't investigate this kind of activity. I get the case after it's done being investigated. So as far as this is concerned, I'd have to talk to someone else who actually handles these types of investigations. But I'll tell you what, I will pass on along your information to him. I'm going to call him today or tomorrow and see what his thoughts are on it. Because I did look at the website. I mean, the fact that people win cash prizes and it's not, you know, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, just, you know, keep your phone on. If you get 216 call, it'll either be from me or from an investigator that works out here, and we'll be in contact to see what's kind of going on here. But I mean, there's nothing. I personally don't do anything because I'm a prosecutor. I don't investigate cases. I don't go undercover or anything like that. So
Yeah.
but I'll be happy to forward this to the right people because I know it's coming up quick, August 10th. So yeah, we'll be in contact. Give me about. I don't want to say today because I don't know if I'll get a hold of this investigator, but we'll be in contact in the next couple days. Okay.
Hey, I really appreciate it, you know, because it's children. And I know everybody's divided on a lot of different things nowadays, but I think one thing we can all agree on is we need to protect these children. And if they need somebody to go undercover, I know you mentioned something like that, I would be willing to help in any way they need me to help. If anything, I'll tell them any information anything that I know. But whatever. Thank you so much for returning my call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll be in contact, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day. So there you have it. I don't play games. I don't play around. Call me a snitch, call me whatever you want to call me. I don't care. This is about children that are being abused. You're taking all the fun away from these kids and you're taking their life away, and they could be out playing and having fun, but you make it about gambling, about money. It's not about money. Chess is about learning. Thinking before you move. Every move has consequences. There's actual life lessons in the game of chess. But making it about greed and about money and about hurting people's feelings, and there's only going to be one winner, of course, and everybody else is going to have to be disappointed that they lost their money. No, I don't think that's right. Sorry. I don't think it's even right when adults do it. But we have freedom and we're adults and we make those decisions. But I don't think that adults should be able to make those decisions for children when they're too young to make those decisions and say, hey, I'm going to put my children in a competition for money, and you better win this competition. I got money on you, Sammy boy. Don't you dare let me down. I'm your dad. You better play the best you... Come on. You just made it so it was fun. You taught your children how to play chess. They like it. Now you're forcing them to play. Maybe Sammy doesn't want to play today. Oh, but you don't want to hear that? What do you mean you don't want to play today? I put all this money on you, Sammy. You better go out there and play, and you better kick some ass, Sam. No, come on. Sammy one day is going to grow up, and he's going to have children, and his brothers and sisters are going to have children. And now, is that what we want Uncle Sam to be like? Think about that.